Welcome to the top 10 classic and nostalgic Thomas horror adaptations. This list focuses on nostalgic Thomas content, since we're in 2026 now and we ain't getting any younger, but we can reflect on the past. Let's do that, shall we? Considering we're talking about past Thomas content from like way back in the day, some of them around 18 years old, others around only 10 years old, I've had to rework the scale for my last two adaptation lists, as tech back then and video quality was not the greatest, but that's what makes it so good. What was given to us that was so little at that point in time, and how people had to utilize it the best they could to make the Thomas content that we know and love, and can look back and reflect on it. This is the new scale of how this is going to work. So again, we're going with 0 out of 10 at 10 out of 10 points. This is how it works. The perfect score is a 50, as it used to be, but it's now going to be camera work, atmosphere, narration, voice acting, and music. That's how this is going to work. It's a little bit different since the cinematography was not the greatest on some projects back in the day. So this is what we're focusing on for this. So without further ado, let's hit the Wayback Machine and see what we get first. And that is Percy and the Ghost Diesel. Early on in my childhood and YouTube exploration and being a Thomas fan, it was only a matter of time where I would discover YouTube Thomas content. And I remember specifically this popping up on the recommendation page constantly until one day where I think I was about in between second and third grade, I found it and I watched Percy and the Ghost Diesel. Now, this video was actually removed for reasons I don't know, other than what I can think of, copyright reasons, but it counted as lost media for a while until it started getting re-uploaded within the last 3 years or so. I'm pretty sure it had to be copyright reasons. I have no idea. But the last time I saw this video made by the actual channel, it racked up like maybe about 5 million views or 2.5 million views or something like that. But it was originally uploaded and created by Aftmask, who's been around on YouTube since 2007. Around the same age when I was browsing and found this by accident. The last time I ever saw Percy and the Ghost Diesel on his channel, it amassed well over 2 million views. So for nostalgic purposes and the fact that I might have been a little disturbed by it as an 8-year-old, let's check out Percy and the Ghost Diesel together. It's only 80 seconds long, this video. There's no story, there's no plot, and I'm going to chime in here because I do not want to suffer the same fate that the original video did for copyrighted music. But, well, there's no story, there's no plot. Well, technically there could be. That's up for audience interpretation. It's just Percy waiting on a sighting when a white Class 42 warship suddenly starts chasing him for no reason other than to be a dick. No, just kidding. He's there to haunt them and spook the hell out of Percy. I friggin' love these 3 great angles we get. First, we're following the Diesel as like a chase cam, then it's rushing into a tunnel, and then it's coming out the other side. It's a static camera. These are great, this is great camera work. I really love all the camera shots we get in this, all the different angles of the Diesel and Percy moving closer to each other and getting away from each other. We get chase camera scenes, we get static camera scenes, we get low angle scenes, we get high angle scenes. It's really enough to make you don't lose focus, essentially. but also it kind of places you in the position of Percy that you're being chased by this Diesel as well. And that's it. It just cuts out after that scene. It's really quick. I for some reason, I remember it being longer than this as a kid, but that just could be from poor memory. But anyway, let's get to the scales here. The camera work is great in this. Multiple different third-person angles, from a static camera to a dynamic camera to a chase camera. It makes you feel as vulnerable as Percy. I remember watching this with a sense of dread in my single-digit self 17 years ago, wondering what the hell was going to happen to Percy, and it was that sudden cutoff at the end that made me yelp out loud at that age. There's a lot of camera work here that kind of places you in Percy's position. That makes you feel a little bit more vulnerable. And when you're a kid watching this on your computer late at night and you got the lights off and that music is just running in the background, it's pretty creepy. It's an eerie feeling. I'm going to give the camera work here a solid 8 out of 10. How's the atmosphere of the setting? It's a wasteland. No, just kidding. It's a great atmosphere. It's dark, it's spooky, there's no one else around except Percy and this Ghost Diesel. That sense of solitude and vulnerability isn't wasted here. Instead, it's enhanced. The viewer, like I said before, is meant to be put in Percy's position. And if you were young and unfamiliar with this, it would creep you the hell out. So the atmosphere here works really great. There's nobody around. There's not even a road vehicle around. It's just tracks, open land, other tracks, bridges, and just these two engines. I'm gonna give it a solid 10 out of 10. Narration and voice acting. There is none of it. If anything, the music, the camera angles, and the action is a voice in and of itself, and it does a great job with it. But if I'm going to be critical and not be a prick about it, part of me wishes there was like subtle voice effects in it. So I'll give it a 15 out of 20. Why 15 out of 20? Because there's no narration, there's no voice acting. I'm going by the statement, actions speak louder than words. Why can I do that? Was that fair on the scale? I created it, and I wanted to include this video. So, there you go. It's Percy's Ghostly Trick soundtrack. What's not to love about it? 10 out of 10. And for Percy and the Ghost Diesel as our first entry in this list, it's a 43 out of 50. That's a pretty good score considering. Nostalgia up the wazoo with this one. But I'm being as fair as I friggin' can with this. After all, it has been well over a decade since this first came to fruition. Mast does not get enough credit for terrifying some of us with this video. He's even made a 2022 remake of it, which is certainly interesting to see, and I recommend going to his channel to check it out. Other than that, that's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.